Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So thanks for attending today's interview. Just to reiterate, my name is Stuart and this is my colleague Lisa Rees. We are from Hoban Recruitment here in Canberra. Sam, we're here today to interview for the corporate graduate program at the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade.
Yep.
We'll begin with some questions to understand your knowledge of and interest in the role, followed by several behavioural questions that'll ask you to draw upon your past experiences.
Yep.
Sam, your responses to these questions will allow us to assess your job-related skills, attributes and behaviours.
Yep.
To do your best on the behavioural questions, we feel that you best follow the STAR method. That is, you'll need to think of one specific example for each question, which you need to detail the following. So S for STAR, S for situation, T for task, A for action, and R for result.
Yep.
You okay there, Sam? Ready to proceed?
Yeah, go
Okay,
far away.
so
Let's
today.
cut the talk, let's get into it.
Sounds good. Our role today is to assist you to provide the best answer.
Yep.
Therefore, we'll guide you through this method, prompting you with questions that'll help you to provide detailed examples.
Yeah.
Any questions at this point?
No,
Okay.
I'm pretty good. Thanks.
No worries at all.
Okay.
I'll hand you to Lisa. Thank you.
Okay, Sam, let's start with the first question. What's your understanding of the corporate graduate program at the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade?
It's for uni student leavers. Stuart, you said you'd sort of coax me along here. Let's see some action.
Okay, so what do you think?
Yeah, So it's for uni student leavers. So yeah, graduates that have done uni, I suppose.
Okay, all right. So what do you think that entails? What do you think you'll be doing within the program?
I'm not sure, but most of the people I've spoken to that have done grad programs, it's like going to uni again. But you know, if that's what it takes, I suppose it's just a stepping stone onto getting into DFAT, which is pretty cool. So I'm happy to do it. Yeah, really looking forward to it. It's really exciting.
Okay, so why are you interested in working for DFAT?
Overseas, I've done a fair bit of overseas travel. Quite like it. Yeah, it's the go. Yep.
Okay, all right.
Overseas does it for me. I don't know what you guys reckon.
Yeah, okay. All
No,
right, Sam.
that's fair enough.
We'll move on from there. No problems.
We're a shrinking world.
So, Sam, what relevant skills, experiences, and personal attributes would you bring to this position?
Well, Stu, I'm a people person. I talk to people, I shake their hands, I get them on side. It's my thing. I can do it well.
I'll stop you. You could do what well? What do you think you could do well?
What I just said, people person skills.
Sure.
That's a thing.
Understood.
Is it?
Well,
No?
if it's relevant to the job, because
I think it is.
Yeah, I suppose Lisa and I are trying to ascertain your knowledge of the program. So if you believe people skills, etc., is required, we'll go with that.
Yeah, cool.
What else? What about you in terms of your experiences in the world?
Right. So I did a thing. I don't know whether or not you guys know. It was a Kentucky tour in about 2005. It was through Europe, and it was just a month of hectic scheduling. Like we're talking big nights followed by sleeping during the day. But anyway, that's not really the point. The point was immersing yourself into these bars and these situations, and having a good time and sort of relating to people and things like that.
All right.
It was a good experience.
I might just stop you there, Sam, and take a step back and talk about your work experience. So what have you done work-wise that you think would be relevant?
I, for beer money, washed the windows of said bus while I was overseas on Kentucky. Constantly looking for opportunities, people person, relating, interrelating, interpersonal skills. I think that's a term that you guys use for it.
Absolutely.
Fingers in many pies, see that?
Understood.
Okay.
All
All right.
Found common ground right there. I think that's quite good.
Sure. Okay.
What I might do now, Sam, is just take you to the next question. It's a three-part question, so you can ask any time for any bit of it to be repeated. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, go.
All right. So please tell us about a time when you've had to convey information to someone from a different background to yourself. So either cultural,
got it.
educational.
Sorry.
How about I just read the whole thing, then we'll go back and do each stage.
Okay.
Educational values. What information did you convey?
Yeah.
How was the person different from you, and what was the impact of that difference? And how did you ensure their understanding?
I'm just going to take this so you'll go, mate. How you going?
We'll obviously just pause at this juncture.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm in here now. Yeah, it's fucking good. It's going really well. Yeah, one's full.
Excuse me, Sam. Can we have your attention?
Yeah.
Do you mind if we?
Hang on a second. Yep. Okay, mate. Well, I better go. Buglugs is calling me back in. Okay. Right, mate. I'll call you after. Right. See you, buddy. Bye.
Sorry to interrupt you there on that.
Sorry.
Very
mate.
important phone call.
A friend just sort of checking on how things are going.
All right. Okay. Well, feel free to give them a call back when you get out. So, as we said, 3-part question. So, how about we just do it in each stage? I think might be the best way.
Work experience, was it?
Well, it's about a time. So it could be while you're at uni. It could be if you're into sports, in a team sport environment. But about a time where you've had to convey information to someone from a different cultural background or educational, or someone with different values. What information did you need to convey to them?
So sort of right now would be...
Yeah. How was a person different from you, and what was the impact of that difference? And how did you ensure their understanding?
Yeah.
Did you want us to repeat the question? Do you understand it, Sam?
Look, I think I can understand it.
Okay.
How do you spell international again?
I don't know.
That's not
Sure.
relevant. What was I thinking of? Oh yeah, overseas I went to Norway, and I was walking through the airport on my way there, and a sniffer dog went off at me. Went barking mad, literally, pardon the pun. And I got pulled into the quiet room and had to communicate to them, a Norwegian who didn't really speak much English, and to the dog that I was not a drug peddler. Now, all I could be here, I could run. But that sort of, airy-fairy hippie crap, it's just not my style. So I sort of had to convey that in pretty quick fashion. But anyway, I got out of it, was my way out.
Okay. Relevant question.
Yep.
How do you communicate to the canine?
Look, sure, that's an excellent question, and I get asked that a lot actually. And just a lot of eye contact. You sort of have to assert yourself, and be friendly. Smile a lot. Iron your shirt, even your t-shirts.
Yep.
Works with the dog.
Understood. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. All right, Sam, next question is, can you please tell us about an experience you've had working in a team towards a common goal? And again, similar to the question Lisa asked, a couple of other ones. What were the things that you personally did to assist with the team to work cooperatively together? How did you interact with others? And what do you feel was your personal contribution towards the outcome? So what was the situation? Can you remember one?
I would have to say, probably, maybe, this might be a good example. That's a good question. That's a tough question, isn't it?
Okay.
That's
Again, you
good.
cleared, similar to what Lisa mentioned, if you were part of a sporting team. Or do you consider the Kentucky bus part of a team? Whatever your thoughts are.
Yeah, look, you got pretty tight there for a second, which was good.
What about at uni? Maybe a project that you've worked on with others.
I don't really like people that much, especially uni people, academics. You know what I mean? Do your head in, son. But team, I suppose the footy team. During high school, we didn't lose a game for 6 years.
Yep.
I want to write that down as well.
Okay, right.
And again, after I finished school, just footy. Stayed footy. Put down footy.
Okay, all right.
That's good.
No problem at all. I think we're done for today.
I think so.
All right, thank you very much. Well, Sam, thank you very much for your time. We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Our recruitment partners will be in touch with you with regards to the next phase of the process. So good luck. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Hey.
Thanks very much.
You better get back to your friend on the phone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks, Sam.
Come in. Good afternoon. How are you?
Very well, thank you. That's all right. Send out some
Awesome. Nice to meet you. How are you
Very
doing?
nice.
This is Lisa, my colleague.
Lisa, nice to meet you.
Thanks for your time this afternoon. Please take a seat.
Thank you very much.
How's your afternoon?
Yeah, quite good.
Good on you. Thanks very much for taking the time to see us today. Sam, we're here today to interview you for the Corporate Graduate Program with
Yes.
the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade.
Yep.
Okay. Today we'll begin with some questions to understand your knowledge of and interest in the role, followed by several behavioural questions that'll ask you to draw upon past experiences. Now, Sam, your responses to these questions will allow us to assess your job-related skills, attributes and behaviours. Okay? To do your best on the behavioural questions, we feel it best that you follow the STAR method. That is, you'll need to think of one specific example for which you need to detail the following. So, S for situation, T for task, A for action, and R for result. So our role today is to assist you to provide the best answer possible. Therefore, we'll guide you through this method, prompting with questions throughout to help you provide detailed examples. So at this juncture, any questions from you at all, Sam?
No questions. I have prepared some notes though,
Mhm.
just for the interview, and I hope that's okay if I can sort of go through them.
Absolutely. Thank you for clarifying. No
That's
problem.
fine.
All right. Well, I'll hand you to Lisa. Thank you.
Okay, let's start with the first question. So, Sam, what is your understanding of the Corporate Graduate Program at the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade?
My understanding of the program is that it is a graduate program, so it intends to build upon skills that you've learned at university and tailoring them to a more Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade specific job. So implementing and executing the government of the day's foreign policy throughout the world, and making sure that Australia's interests are best served. And the corporate stream that I'm applying for is more about providing insurance and efficacy for those embassies to be able to do that, to be able to do their job. So human resources, budgeting, financial management, those sorts of things. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for your answer. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
So excellent. I consider you have a very good understanding of this program. Next, Lisa and I would like to know, Sam, what motivated you to apply for this position?
It sounds a little bit cheesy, but I come from a military family who have a long time been involved in the Australian military, and I myself would have liked to have gone down that route, but for some circumstances I can't.
Yep.
But this seems like an incredibly interesting and rewarding opportunity to be able to serve my country, something that I would gain a lot of job satisfaction and pleasure in being able to do that.
Yep.
So that was my first reaction when I read this program. The second reason for applying, and the second reason for my interest, was that I obviously am interested in business-related studies. That's why I did commerce at university, and especially in terms of international business, which I majored in. I find the complexities and the intricacies incredibly fascinating. And just from reading and understanding the program, I think it will be challenging if I was to get in there, but I think I would really throw myself into it. And it goes back to that old adage.
Yep.
What you put in is what you get out. So I think I would really throw myself into it. Yeah, so that's the reason why I'm interested in it.
All right, thank you, Sam. Great. So we'll begin with the behavioural questions. So what relevant skills, experiences and personal attributes do you feel you bring to this position, Sam?
So I would have to draw upon some previous experience. I was working for an agribusiness firm in Melbourne. It was with renewable energies, and we were approached by a multinational company, a mining company with a copper interest within South Gobi Desert in Mongolia, and they were looking to do a socially responsible community engagement project over there. And the Mongolians, the local population, is quite agricultural based, usually with livestock, grazing and herding and those sorts of things. So they were looking for a project to be able to engage better with the local population. They were sort of having some conflicts there, not serious, but they would like to. They actually were rather impressive with their corporate responsibility mandate. So we went over there, myself and a fellow engineer, not a fellow engineer, but an engineer, quite senior to myself and very experienced in international projects. So that was great. I had a mentor right there. And we, for about 2 weeks, sort of travelled around the South Gobi, met with the various stakeholders which weren't English speaking. They were incredibly fascinating people with, comparatively to Australia, quite basic needs. But being able to understand their point of view and put yourself in their shoes, and then look at the issues that we've taken away from the mining company, and then trying to look at it from the Mongolian perspective, was an interesting and actually really, really enjoyable process. So we sat down some yurts, the huts, and for the tents, had some yak milk tea, and had a chat, and the cultural differences as well. It's quite impolite to sit on a chair. You have to sit on the ground. If you sit on a chair, that is indicative of being a criminal, because when you go to jail, you're not allowed to sit on the floor. Apparently, you have to sit on a chair. Little things like that. It was great.
Absolutely.
So I suppose taking away from that fact-finding mission and the report that I had to submit afterwards, that was a lot of fun and a lot of hard work, but a lot of fun.
Yep.
And I hope that eventually, it may not be right away, but eventually, hopefully, I can do that again.
Okay.
That's the work that I find most rewarding.
Okay, thank you. No problems.
Fantastic, Sam. That was a great example. This question is a 3-part question, and you can ask at any time for this to be repeated. We can break it down, whatever's easiest for you. So what I'll do is I'll just take you through it straight away, and then we can go back. So please tell us about a time when you've had to convey information to someone from a very different background to yourself, examples, cultural, educational, or values. What information did you need to convey? How was the person different from you, and what was the impact of this difference? And how did you ensure that they understood?
I'm going to draw back on the Mongolian experience. It's not the only one. We did a lot of business in Malaysia as well, which is the same thing. But the biggest gap that I encountered was definitely Mongolia and the culture shock there. So again, just very different backgrounds to myself. Quickly having to ascertain the social norms to get on side or not put them offside initially from that first, brief 1 or 2 minutes of meeting them. So not sitting on a seat, working it out very politely and I suppose a good word is charmingly, without putting them again offside and adapting to it, and then trying to understand their point of view but still trying to convey your point of view at the same time, so you don't completely throw yourself over their side and become biased to their opinion. But getting down to discovering what the real problem is, and then trying to figure out some solutions afterwards. But that was definitely something I picked up from university, which was incredibly beneficial. Quite simple, frustratingly simple, but really beneficial that I picked up. Was it's not trying to find solutions all the time. That can be really, 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 really obvious. It's trying to find the actual problem, the cause of the problem. So looking back, that was pre-university. And I think maybe perhaps if I did the same thing post-university, could have probably perhaps done a bit better. But at the same time, that was something I did, and we did it quite well as well. When we had the debrief with the mining board in country, they were quite impressed with what we had suggested and the information that we had gathered and the conversations that we'd had. Their team, that liaison team with the local population, hadn't really done something like that before with a Australian procurement officer who was our mining offsider, and our team, the two of us. They hadn't done anything like that before, so that was good.
Okay, Sam, I was going to bring you back to the last point of that question. When you were dealing with the people in the yurts, so to speak, how did you know that they were understanding what you were trying to tell them? Was there someone interpreting for you, or So
we had a liaison officer called Chinka. She was our interpreter and briefed us on cultural norms and things to do and say before we arrived and left. So she was really important. And then again, but trying to sort of have some form of social intelligence, being able to pick up on body language and things like that, which is quite difficult for Australians or Anglo-Saxons within an Asian culture, because they are very much, they will play a role. And you have to be able to ascertain what your role is in that relationship and then play it out. And I feel that we did do that quite well, and not try and do it all at once. Do it slowly and repetitively. Not expect too much right away, and be casual and quite interested, genuinely interested about their lives and what they do. things like that. And trying to find the common ground, which is the most important thing that I could do anyway from an agricultural background. So I went for a walk around his country and asked him about plants and grazing patterns and things like that. And so after that conversation, actually, that was probably the breakthrough. Sort of finding that common ground.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Thanks for the answer. Similar style question. So can you please tell us about an experience you've had working in a team towards a goal? So follow-up questions are, so what were the things you did to assist the team towards, to work cooperatively together, How did you interact with others? And what do you feel was your personal contribution towards the goal?
Okay, so 2013, so last year I was involved with a organisation called Innovation ACT, which is a student-led committee that puts together a competition for ACT university students, and they submit, the university students submit ideas, and then we have almost a year-long workshop process that teaches them about how to get a startup business going and effectively commercialise their idea. So that was engaging with 6 committee members with their own agendas and ideas and attitudes and communication methods as well. So that was a little bit challenging for me initially. A lot of people, I like to do things over the phone or face to face. A lot of emails, so I had to sort of try and find a middle ground with some people that were open to preferring phone calls as well, but people that preferred to do emails, I reciprocated and tried to identify that as a potential weakness on my behalf anyway, and made a conscious effort of setting aside at least an hour in the evenings instead of watching TV, to sit down and just go through the emails and understand everything. And my role that I played within the committee itself, there were quite strong personalities there, as you could probably understand from a volunteer-based role like that. So people that are really there to commit themselves to an idea or an objective. So my role, I could best see it is if I took a step back, let them play the power struggle out, and then after that, just after the dust had settled, sort of walk in there and then keep them back on point. So from the initial outset, it's not really, I don't really want to brag or anything, but I was, from my work experience from agribusiness, it was incredibly important to ascertain what the community's objectives and goals were to begin with, write it down, and then in every discussion and every meeting bring them back on point on what we're trying to achieve that year.